Avoiding discomfort is rampant in our society. People take the easier route, the warmer option, the path of least resistance. And then, when life inevitably delivers hardship, because it always does, they are caught completely off guard. The Stoics had a solution for this. They called it voluntary discomfort, the deliberate practice of exposing yourself to challenging, uncomfortable experiences on purpose, so that when difficulty arrives uninvited, you are already prepared for it. This isn't about suffering for its own sake. It's about choosing to be stronger. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Self-Control from Fitness to Flourishing. Voluntary discomfort is an ancient Stoic practice of intentionally placing yourself in situations that are physically or psychologically challenging, not because you have to, but because you choose to. The purpose is twofold: to prepare for adversity by experiencing it in controlled doses, and to build equanimity, the calm, steady composure that allows you to respond well when life gets difficult. If you have already sat with discomfort willingly, you are far less likely to be destabilized when it arrives without warning. The element of surprise, which is often what makes hardship so overwhelming, is removed. Said another way, you cannot be ambushed by something you have already faced. Not all discomfort qualifies. For the practice to work, two conditions must be met. First, it must actually challenge you. The discomfort must push you beyond your current limits. This is the same principle that governs physical training. It's only outside your comfort zone that growth is stimulated. If you are comfortable, you are not growing. If you are not growing, you are not practicing voluntary discomfort. You are simply going through the motions. For those who train physically, this principle is already familiar. The last few reps of a hard set, the final kilometer of a long run, the moment you want to stop but choose to keep going. This is voluntary discomfort in its most immediate form. Your training is already teaching you this. The practice simply asks you to extend that same principle into the rest of your life. Second, it must be chosen. This is the critical distinction, and it's what separates voluntary discomfort from ordinary hardship. Enduring discomfort that is involuntary is merely being subjected to conditions you can do nothing about. It may build endurance. It may also cause damage. The outcome is unpredictable because the psychological experience of being forced into difficulty is fundamentally different from the experience of choosing it. Enduring discomfort you have volunteered to endure and that you can remove yourself from is psychologically strengthening. Why? Because every time you choose difficulty, you prove something to yourself. I can handle this. That proof accumulates. Over time, it becomes an unshakable confidence in your own capacity to endure. You are not just tolerating hard things. You are building the self-knowledge that you are someone who can. In essence, you are choosing to be stronger. This ancient Stoic practice has a modern name: exposure therapy. Exposure therapy is a behavioral treatment widely considered the most effective approach for overcoming fear and anxiety. The method is straightforward. The individual faces their fear in small, progressive steps, voluntarily and at their own pace. That last concept matters enormously. It's volunteering to face the fear, not being forced into it, that produces the therapeutic result. The same discomfort imposed without consent does not produce the same outcome. Notice as well what the goal of exposure therapy actually is. It's not necessarily to eliminate the fear. It's to help the person choose to be courageous in the face of fear. The fear may remain. What changes is the individual's relationship to it and their willingness to act despite it. This is precisely the Stoic aim. Different contexts, different language, but the same fundamental insight. Voluntary engagement with discomfort builds the capacity to choose courage. You don't need to do anything dramatic. The practice works through consistency and intention, not intensity. Some examples worth considering. In your physical training, lean into the moments you want to quit. Don't manufacture extra suffering. Simply don't retreat from the discomfort that's already there. In daily life, take the cold shower. Skip the comfort food. Sit with boredom instead of reaching for your phone. Say the difficult thing instead of the easy one. In your mind, notice when you're avoiding something because it's uncomfortable. Ask yourself, is this avoidance serving me or weakening me? Start small. The goal is not to overwhelm yourself. It's to expand your threshold gradually and deliberately so that what once felt hard begins to feel manageable. Voluntary discomfort is not a punishment. It's not asceticism for its own sake. It's a training method, one that uses the friction of everyday life as raw material for building a stronger, more resilient self. The ancient Stoics understood something that modern psychology has since confirmed. The willingness to choose difficulty is itself a form of power. It's the power to shape who you are becoming, rather than simply reacting to what life delivers. Your physical training already gives you a daily opportunity to practice this. Every session is a choice. Every hard rep is a small act of voluntary discomfort. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you are doing exactly what the Stoics prescribed. You're not just building a body. You're building the skill to be courageous in the face of fear. That's the real purpose of voluntary discomfort. And it's been hiding in your training all along. That's it for today. Catch you next time.